Good afternoon. Welcome to OG Dweeb. Today I have an art supply review for you. I got a little bit of birthday money and I went ahead and picked up the Marsgraphic Duo double-ended watercolor brush markers by Staedtler. This is the 36 pen set. And I'm very happy with them so far. To the right you can see that I did a swatch card and there's a really nice assortment of both warm and cool tones. They go on very smoothly. These are ink-based watercolor markers. And just as a note, they will stain your fingers. So, but I went ahead and did some initial testing. I did some wet into wet blending here with the markers. And then I used a paintbrush to blend them out down here. I went ahead and kind of used a brush to blend these in here. And I've got some more testing for you later in the video. But I was really interested to see if the colors would align with the tube paints. I used the Staedtler 24 set of tube paints, and thankfully, I was very pleased to find out that yes, indeed. As you can see here, the swatch cards, the colors here and here are very much aligned. And I was very happy for that because I would like to use them in tandem. And so I went ahead and tested the, colors to see, and as you can see I did some blending out. On the left you will find the marker color, and on the right you will find the tube paint. And as you can see now, the purples, the magenta here is very nice, but as you can see some of the other colors are a little bit off, especially in the purples. Everything else aligned very well. It was just the issue with the purples. The spring green is a little darker, the paint versus the marker, but overall I'm very happy with the matching of the tones. Then I went ahead and did some different little techniques. And as you can see my mushroom here, I started to just simply draw it in, and they do take a minute to dry. And if you use them wet, they will bleed into each other, as you can see here on the cheek, up here on the mushroom cap. So if you're going to layer these, you must make sure, just like the regular watercolor paints, that your first layer is dry before laying the second layer. Again, as you can see here, I didn't wait for these to dry, and that green line going through it did bleed towards the end. Here's some layering. Here's layering onto dry paint. As you can see, if you wait for the paint to dry, they do not bleed into the paints. I blended the shadow out here. It did not blend as much as I would have liked. I used just a watercolor brush for that. Here's a wet onto wet. I colored the yellow down and then immediately drew the orange target. Here's the salt technique will work with these markers, but as you can see, it doesn't completely pull out all of the pigment, so you are left with sort of a off-colored dots rather than a snow effect. Up here I used a spray bottle. That turned out kind of cool. And then here's blending with water. Now, one thing I did find is that if you can see here, they will leave the little water lines. And I also found that to be true here. I went ahead and tried to blend this out here, and as you can see, there's water lines. So be mindful of that. I would wait until the first layer dries and then just simply go back in dry. I don't think I would use a brush. But I also did give them a test to see how they might work on other papers, because I could see somebody maybe wanting to pick these up for adult coloring books or what have you. And so I went ahead and did a very quick drawing on regular, just average quality sketchbook paper. And I did find that the blending is lacking. As you can see the streaks. They did not layer very well. And also they will, if I can show you here, they will bleed through thin paper. You can definitely see that it bled. So I would not recommend using these with sketchbook paper. If you're going to use them on adult coloring books, I would be sure it's the heavy duty type rather than maybe the dollar store regular coloring book paper. And then I went ahead and used a mixed media pad, which to me worked even better than the watercolor paper. As you can see, the colors are very vibrant. I'm very happy with the brightness. And up top here, I went ahead and did some blending. This is on, again, Canson XL mixed media paper. This is dry paint layered with marker. Again, there was no bleeding onto the dry paint. This, I used a brush to blend with water. Again, we have the water lines here. And then these two I layered while they were wet. You can see there's the line there. So those are the capabilities of the Marsgraphic Duo watercolor brush pens. I'm happy with them overall. I'm a little disappointed that it seems that blending with a brush with water seems to leave those watermarks. But for the use that I intend them for, I believe they'll work out well. I'm going back in and doing detailed work after I've already used my watercolor paints to paint most of the picture. So yeah, again, they're ink-based, so be mindful they may stain your clothing or your tablecloth, what have you. I don't know that I would recommend these for children. They were $34.99 regular price. I did get them 40% off. These would definitely be something I would give an adult or an older teen, someone that's you know, a little ways into their art rather than children. I would not recommend these for children. I would just get them some, you know, the little cheap water brushes and leave it at that. But yeah, also, I'm not a very good letterer, but I do like the way that the lettering comes out for these as well. So yeah, if you're using thick paper and gonna use them for adult coloring book, definitely. But anyway, that's my review. I may give an update review in a few weeks when I've used them a little more. I'm very happy with the initial testing, other than perhaps leaving the watermarks. But other than that, I hope you guys have a great day. And this is why we can't have nice things. I'm setting up to do my review, and look who comes. There's Argo. Kitty, kitty. What are you doing getting in my way? What are you doing, goofball?